So yeah, if we start out with the first question, that is, what will happen if Romeo is found in the garden? And we already know that Romeo is taking a big risk of uh, entering the garden that Juliet is living in, or like where her plays are, um, and he will probably be captured by the Capulets, and that's not going to look good for him because he is a Montague. Um, and that's what we also see on page 19, lines 68 to 69, where Juliet says, "In the place death, considering thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here." Therefore, we know that he will be killed if he gets found by any of her men of like or like family members. Um, Question number 2 is, what does Juliet ask Romeo to do if he really loved her? So she is clearly clearly has nothing against Romeo, and that's why she also says, forget about your father and change your name." So and this is said on page 89, line 34. Yeah. So she blames Romeo's father and the history of what the Montagues and the Capulets are going through against each other, because Romeo Romeo and Juliet are in love, so it's going to be a big problem between the families if they are captured. And that's why she also says, or asks Romeo to change his name so that nobody knows that they are together, and don't um and yeah, don't så at der ikke er nogen, der kender ham, hvis han skifter navn. So yeah. Question 3 is, when does Juliet realize that she is being overheard? So at first, after she has revealed her thoughts, and when she is talking to herself, Romeo suddenly answers her thoughts, and that's when she realizes she has been overheard in the dark. And when do they begin to speak to each other? Juliet is at first the first one that directly asks, what man art thou that thus bescreened in night, so stumblest on my counsel? I don't have the evidence from the text right now, but it says, I can't find it in the text right now, but that's when the real dialogue between the two starts. And she actually don't know that it's Romeo yet. So yeah. Question 5 is, what does that which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet actually mean? So here Juliet is trying to make Romeo change his name, which I also explained earlier. She still wants to acknowledge that Romeo is Romeo, because you can't change yourself even though you change your name. But that's why she also makes the or gives the example of the rose, because the rose will not change its smell just because it's called something else. So yeah. Question number 6 is, what does Juliet mean by saying, "Oh Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?" If we translate the sentence, it's she basically is saying, "Oh Romeo, Romeo, why do you have to be Romeo?" So yeah, she actually blames his name, and that's why we also, she is also asking him to change his name, that we have been going through in the other questions. And question number 7 is, why is the scene called the balcony scene? Is there any evidence in the text other than the stage direction? There's an example in the text on page 90, lines 80 to 90, where she says, how camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore the orchard walls are high and hard to climb. So we basically know from this quote in the text that she is placed somewhere high, which could be a balcony. So yeah. So if we look at the themes that are linked in the text, it's love, and an example is or thou wilt not be sworn by my love, and ill no longer be a Capulet. So here she kind of like explains her love for him, and she will do anything to love him, even like leave her family of being a Capulet. And another example is, with love's light wings did I approach these walls, for the stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do, that dares love attempt, on page 90, line 66 to 68, and this is said by Romeo, and this also explains what he basically will do out of love for her, and she will, you know, um, he will, I'm sorry, do whatever it takes to be closer to her, even attempt these walls. And the conflict, I'm not sure about this one, but this is where Juliet says on page 89 to in line 38, where she says, "'Tis only thy name that is my enemy." So she basically um says like his name is her enemy, um and because of him being a Montague, is the problem of this whole relationship that they have, because they can't um show their love for each other like normal people do, or maybe what uh, Montague couples do to each other, and Capulets do to each other within those relationship, in those what do you say, like families, because these two come from two different families. So it's a big problem and a conflict, and a big conflict in this text. I didn't find anything for fate, but for life and death. How comes thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and hard to climb. So I'm sorry. I think it's the uh, uh, it's the wrong quote, but he will do anything um to climb, to do he will do anything to be closer to her, and even like attempting these walls and falling down, she will he will be like incomplete, because he have seen her or like talked with her. So in that way it could be a life or death. And I didn't finish these sentences, but Romeo seems to be a very stubborn person who strives for what he wants, and he is still described as perfect, although he is still named Romeo. And Juliet is seen as a bright and glorious angel. So yeah, yes.